Hey, this is Mark at the Monroe Comic Con. I'm here with legendary artist Arthur Suydam. Tell us, how did you get started doing comics?
Reading comics. So when I was very young, I read comics. I got burned very bad when I was about 5 years old, um, and the doctors didn't expect me to live. So I was in a hospital for over a year, and my parents used to bring me comic books, parents' visiting day, and I started reading them. When I got out of the hospital, I was wrapped up like a mummy. There was a little spot between between a couple fingers on my right hand that had not been burnt so bad, so I started drawing, and then I just basically stuck with it my entire life. And I had an uncle who reportedly studied with Norman Rockwell, so I inherited his workbooks. And then later on, when I was in high school, the comic companies started to want to hire me to work on all their books. In fact, Warren Publishing, Creepy and Area were the first guys. They tried to hire me when I was in high school. I told them, hey, I'm still in high school. And they said, well, when do you graduate? I went to see Jim Warren. I said, well, I graduate next year. He said, well, you got the job, kid. As soon as you graduate, come on in and we got work for you. So I was on my way to Warren Publishing to start work for Warren Publishing, and DC Comics happened to be just along the way. So I said, let me stop in there because they were doing the same thing Warren was doing, had those short anthology books, House of Secrets and House of Mystery, doing all the horror stuff. And the editor editing all that stuff was Joe Orlando. And Joe Orlando was one of the artists from Warren Publishing. He was also the art director for Warren Publishing. And he was one of the great artists from the EC comics from the 1950s. So he's actually the guy that brought all those EC artists to Warren for Warren Publishing for Creepy, Eerie, and Vampirella magazine. So he saw my work, he loved my work, and I said, well, I'm on my way to go start working for Warren Publishing, and he begged me not to go. He said, don't go there. He said, stay here.
You mean DC Comics?
DC Comics, yeah. So he opened up a drawer. He said, there's 250 scripts in that drawer. You can have as many of them as you want, but please don't go there. Stay here. So I said, okay. He's offered me more work than I can handle, so okay. So when I came to DC Comics, my work was all painted. I had some black and white ink stuff, but a lot of it was painted. And I think, and they said, Joe said, we're publishing on newsprint, so we can't print any of this painted stuff. I love this stuff, and I wish we could paint it because it's great stuff, but we can't publish it. So, so I started working on their anthology horror stories, but I really wanted to do painted work, and I wanted to write my own. I found the writing in mainstream comics to be sophomoric at the time. I did like the writing for Warren Publishing. That was Archie Goodwin writing all those stories.
More mature.
Well, more sophisticated. From a more sophisticated audience. And Archie's writing was very good, and as was the writing for EC Comics, which I believe was Feldstein. Was it? That was a no. Was the guy, the editor of Mad Magazine? Oh no, the other guy.
Kurtzman.
No, but I'm blanking on his name.
So am I.
A couple of days anyway, but he wrote all those stories, and he was great too. So, so as soon as an opportunity, what happened was National Lampoon, when they were over in Europe, they saw some highly trained, highly skilled, and talented comic artists over there in France, and they decided, geez, let's purchase the reprint rights for this art and open up a magazine, bring it into the United States, and try to publish a magazine in the United States. But they thought that the magazine, given the nature of the French writing, and since everybody was foreign from France and from Italy, they were real concerned that the magazine wouldn't fly in the United States. So they said, we need a couple of guys, American artists who are fine art trained, who can write progressive type writing. And so the first artists they hired were me and Richard Corbin. And so the magazine came out, was Heavy Metal magazine. And that was a big hit, and that spawned Epic Illustrated from Marvel Comics. So they wanted to get a piece of the market since Heavy Metal was such a big hit. They put out Epic Illustrated, and I was the first artist they hired there. And for me, it was great because I could write my own stories, and all my work was painted. So I could do painted interior comic work. And so that's how I got started.
You were inspired a lot by Frank Frazetta.
I was inspired by all those good guys from EC Comics and all those good guys from Creepy. I mean, for me, according to me, I mean, to my own personal taste, the finest comic book artists that I've ever seen were the guys working on Warren Publishing, Creepy and Eerie, and yeah, Frank and Al and Reed Crandall.
Graham.
Yeah, Graham Mingles. Yeah, that's why. In fact, that's why Joe Orlando hired me. He said, you got that thing. Nobody's got that thing. He says, you and Bernie, you're the only two guys I've ever seen that have that thing that Graham Mingles had. You know, some sort of sick quality to our work. And he said, and also, you're like Frank. You got this thing. What Frank has, you got it. So that's why he hired me.
So let's jump ahead now.
Yeah.
It's going to the zombie era. What inspired you to get into the zombie art?
Well, I'm classically trained. So my training, my training was basically based on the nights of Michelangelo and Raphael and Leonardo. They rebuilt the school. They rebuilt the school. It was their school, the Classical Atelier, and that was the kind of school I was looking for, and I couldn't find it. And I started to get all these offers from Marvel, particularly. They said, "We're going to give you anything you want. You want Spider-Man? You got it. We'll give you Avengers. We'll give you Fantastic Four." So when they offered me that, I said, "Well, I'm going to school, so I'm going back to school." So I said no to them for all those mainstream books, and then I went to school. Went to the New York Academy of Figurative Art, and following that, then I went to the Art Students League. I did 6 years at the Art Students League. That was Norman Rockwell's school. So I'm really a permanent student, and I still have that to this day. So I'm always studying every day. So that's kind of how I got my start.
So, with the Marvel Zombies, what do you think about the new show coming out?
Oh, your question was how did I get into the zombie thing? Well, when I came into the business Bernie and I were the go-to guys in the business for the horror. So I came into business doing horror, came into the business doing zombies. And then once I got that training, I got all that classical training, it's really 90% anatomy based. So I know where everything is. Like when it comes time to draw zombies, I like drawing them because I love drawing the anatomy. I mean, for me, it's like doing crossword puzzles.
You could be a medical examiner. Right?
Well, it was actually where we studied. So I did 2 years working with cadavers. So during the day, the medical students had them, and during the evening, we students from the art school, we had access to the cadavers. So we had to draw them. We had to sculpt each body part. And we had to draw them in all the different mediums in charcoal. And we had to sculpt them as well. So yeah, so I know the stuff. So when I see zombies, I'm looking at the anatomy, and for me, working on anatomy, I find relaxing, really.
You know, being interested in zombies, were you ever a fan of zombie movies?
Well, the good ones, yeah. I mean, for me, we were just having this conversation with one of the fans that was just here. With the zombie genre, I mean, for me, the problem with the genre was that most of the stuff I thought was junky, and I think it was very good. There's a few standouts in there that when I always thought that when a zombie thing is good, it's great. And so, I mean, I really loved the Night of the Living Dead. I thought that was great. And then Return of the Living Dead, which is my favorite zombie movie of all time.
Well, that's got to be the most graphic and gory, especially for emaciated zombies.
I love that. You know, they had the interview with a zombie where they tied the zombie to the table and interviewed him like, you're me.
She was in pain.
He was in pain. Why do you like to eat people? It's the pain. Yeah,
Brains.
Yeah, that was Tarman. The Tarman's was the brains guy. But I love that. And I love The Walking Dead. Walking Dead, those first 10 seasons, before they killed all the cast members off, man, they were really something special. So I thought it was great.
Greg Nicotero's work in there was incredible.
And the writing was great. You know, the writing was, the casting was great, the writing was great, and the directing was great. Darryl Pomp. You know, so, I mean, what can you say about it?
So what do you think about the new show coming out?
Oh, the Marvel Zombie show? I got mixed feelings about it. Truth be told, my own personal feelings on it is that Marvel Zombies is that Marvel keeps putting these horrible movies out, these junky movies that nobody wants to see, and they're terrible. And what everybody really wants, what the market wants, is they want the Marvel Zombies movie. So it's horror What's a horror theme? It's got to be live action. They've got the right actors for it. Imagine a Marvel zombie movie with Chris Evans and Downey Jr. Doing Robert's script from the first series, which to me is perfect. It's the perfect script. So, and they own the rights to it, so there's no reason for them not to do it. So for me, to do a cartoon of it, I hear it's really good. I mean, people have been watch the that first episode that they did, which is what spawned it becoming a whole series. It was very well received, but I didn't even watch it. So
Wasn't it originally in a What If?
yeah, what if? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that came out and everybody loved it, but for me, it should be live action. And one of these movie directors, Marvel should make a deal with a good, appropriate director. Who's the director that directed the King Kong movies?
Oh, you're talking about Peter Jackson.
Peter Jackson. He's the guy.
He's an idea. Or Guillermo del Toro is another guy.
I don't think he's appropriate for that series, but Peter Jackson,
number 2.
or like the Evil Dead guy that they've got.
Sam Raimi.
Sam Raimi, yeah. Sam Raimi.
Great choices.
Yep. So those are the guys. They got good guys for it, for the project, and everybody I talk to at these comic shows. We're at these comic shows every weekend. They say the same thing. We want the live action Marvel Zombies movie. Why are they giving us, these movies that nobody wants to see?
So what's been the turnout for you meeting your fans?
Oh, you mean at these Comic-Cons?
Yeah. How do you like meeting your fans?
Well, I love meeting the fans. I mean, for me, it's number one. I love meeting them. They tell me what's good and what's bad. They tell me what they like and what they don't like. So it really helps me have I think it's essential, really, to have a pulse on, where the art market in the United States, where the comic market in the United States is. I find it critical information. So I love it. I love doing the Comic-Cons. And I buy a lot of artwork. So when I'm at these shows, I like walking up and down the aisles. Occasionally I'll come across an artist whose work I really love, and I'll buy a lot of artwork from.
You're not just an artist, you're a fan.
I'm a fan. I'm a fan of great art. I'm a fan of good art and great art. Yeah, for sure. For sure.
Anyways, Arthur, it was a pleasure speaking with you. Don't want to take up too much of your time.
Well, thank you.
And this is Mark at the Monroe Comic Con.